Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to the Cedars-Sinai Informational Workshop. We're just going to be going over the history and various programs that the Cedars-Sinai Hospital offers. There are several medical offices scattered throughout Los Angeles. There are a few that are close to Westwood, but they go as far as Inglewood and even Skid Row. As for the hospitals, there's one that's a few miles just from Westwood. I actually do volunteer there, and we will talk about the volunteer programs that they offer later. But their farthest hospital is located in Torrance. And their newest one is actually the Marina del Rey Hospital. They started construction back in 2020, and they're estimated to finish construction completely in 2026. Right now, they're actually somewhat functional. They offer general acute medical services and some emergency care. And they do also offer a few labs to do testing and imaging as well.
Okay, so I'll talk about what is Cedars-Sinai. So Cedars-Sinai is basically just a nonprofit academic healthcare organization in the LA community. And they have many research achievements, education programs, and like a lot of community activities. And they also provide care to uninsured people through like schools, clinics, homeless shelters, and community centers. So they served like a lot of people, like 1 million people, and then they have like a lot of locations, and they also do research projects as well. And as you can tell, they've done a lot. So what is their mission statement? So they're basically a nonprofit, independent health care organization that is committed to improving health status of the communities that they serve. And some of their mission statements are leadership and excellence in delivering quality healthcare and services, expanding horizons of medical knowledge through biomedical research, educating and training physicians and other healthcare professionals, improving the health status of the community. And they are founded in the ethical and cultural precepts of the Judaic tradition, which inspired devotion to art and science of healing. So what type of healthcare services do they provide? So their typical services are primary care, urgent care, specialized care, cancer, and preventive medicine. And the stuff that they do unique is child life services, medical genetics, plastic and reconstructive surgery, spiritual care, and work and life matters program. So what are their rankings? So right now they're like #2 for gastroenterology and GI surgery. They're #3 in cardiology, orthopedics, and pulmonology. And they also have, they're the magnet for nursing.
Hey everyone, I'm Dylan and I'll be presenting the research section of this workshop. So to start off with an introduction, Cedars-Sinai has one of the most advanced facilities in the world in terms of biomedical research. They essentially combine basic research and clinical trials with patients in order to make advancements in a variety of fields, which we will talk about in later slides. Okay, so regarding clinical trials, the organization has one of the largest facilities for these trials in the US. There, they currently conduct almost 600 different projects that allow for discovery and testing of things like drugs, techniques, and other medical products and procedures. So on to basic science and clinical research, the organization has a variety of departments that study things such as biomedical sciences, pharmacology, and other fields relating to health that can then be translated into practice in their clinical trials. So an example I found interesting was that at Cedars-Sinai, there was a study on ovarian cancer that allowed for the identification of certain genetic markers that might indicate risk for the disease, which may end up helping in the treatment of it. Next slide, please. And as for their departments and institutes, their medical centers have many different research departments that study things like surgery, medical sciences, as well as psychological and behavioral fields. And beyond that, there are also institutes that research certain health topics, while others may practice things like regenerative medicine and the training of nurses.
Hi everyone, my name is Mallika and I'm going to take you through the educational and academic programs that Cedars-Sinai provides. So just as a quick overview, the programs that Cedars-Sinai offers include graduate programs for medical students and additional nursing programs and other professional training programs. So the graduate programs primarily include medical education as well as the Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences. So the medical education program provides residency programs and fellowship programs. There are currently 14 residency programs, and these are designed to enable physicians in training to advance into their chosen specialties. And just a few examples of specialties include internal medicine, neurology, and general surgery. So currently there are about 311 residents at Cedars-Sinai. And the fellowship program is designed to include rotations throughout the hospital and work with experts across diverse specialties and practice settings. And currently there are 134 fellows working at Cedars. The Graduate School of Biomedical Sciences offers a couple different tracks, which include a PhD in the biomedical sciences, a master's in health delivery sciences, and a master's in magnetic resonance in medicine. For medical students, there are a couple different programs. One is a program that provides student electives and rotations. So this essentially includes clinical rotations and internships that allow students exposure to more learning opportunities within the clinical setting of the hospital, and where they get to work side by side with the faculty, residents, and interns. The clinical research electives specifically expose the students to diverse research techniques and methods through physician mentors. The DEI program, or the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion program, is designed to improve student exposure to Cedars-Sinai and graduate medical leadership, and aims to increase the number of students from varying backgrounds who can apply into the training programs they provide. The nursing programs include new graduate residency program, the Rising Star Leadership Program, the Emerging Leader Program, and the Specialty Training Program. The new graduate residency program is designed to ensure that nurses have a successful transition into the practice environment. The Rising Star program is meant to help clinical nurses grow professionally and grow their team leadership skills. The Emerging Leader program is designed to promote career advancement by encouraging professional development and performance improvement. The Specialty Training program is designed to train nurses in a wide range and diverse clinical specialties with a specific focus on advancing expertise necessary for certain skill sets and improving patient care. Last but not least, the professional training programs include clinical laboratory training. This is a one-year program that provides hands-on clinical experience through laboratory rotations and classroom instruction, which is conducted in affiliation with Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, and Cal State University, Los Angeles. The Clinical Scholars Program is a program that provides funding, career guidance, education, and skill acquisition for aspiring clinical scientists. And through this program, you can get formal clinical research training. Another program is the postdoctoral scientist program. And this program provides institutional support for postdocs and their mentors while developing resources for research and career development. And currently there are over 100 postdocs that have been hosted by Cedars-Sinai. And the research internship program is structured in mentored environments that support learning in basic translational and clinical research, and this program in specific is very useful for undergraduate and high school students. The Health Library is a really useful tool on the Cedars-Sinai website, which I will now take you through. So the Health Library is essentially a resource for learning more about a wide range of symptoms, conditions, and treatments, and it's entirely user-friendly. And on the next slide, we'll show you how you can use it. So there are various tools on the Health Library. One of them is the symptom checker, which allows you to essentially pinpoint a body area and gives you immediate feedback on how to treat certain symptoms. And it'll also provide you information and recommendations on how to proceed based on the severity of your symptoms. The video library is a collection of short videos that give you like quick and easy information on a range of conditions, tests and screening for diagnoses, and various treatment options as well. The health calculator is a tool that assesses your health and helps identify where you fall within a range. And based on your score, it can give you certain details about your health behavior and how to proceed. Some examples are the BMI tool, the baby due date tool, and the calorie burn rate tool. And finally, the risk assessment tool essentially gives you a set of questions to get information about potential diseases or disorders that you could contract, and it will then provide you with a list of lifestyle changes and treatments for managing these risks. And some examples of this tool are the breast health assessment, the stress trigger assessment, and the acid reflux risk assessment, to name a few.
Hi everyone, my name is Evelyn Silva and I'm going to be talking to you guys about community health at Cedars-Sinai. So one of Cedars-Sinai's main focus is to make sure that their patients can take the most advantage out of the programs and services that they offer. They work closely with schools and the local government in ensuring that their patients have access to free screenings and immunizations. They also focus a lot on health education, specifically in the youth groups of their communities, and have developed a lot of programs to educate children and their families, as well as caregivers on community health. So Coach for Kids and Healthy Habits are two programs that this hospital has implemented to provide care for children. Coach for Kids is the name of a mobile clinic that was established with the primary goal of providing medical care and social services to the underserved pediatric patient population. They're available at Head Start sites, workshop centers, and other public housing developments within the Cedars-Sinai community service area, which includes Central and South Los Angeles, Watts, and Crenshaw. And the second program is Healthy Habits, which is meant to teach students and parents about the importance of physical activity. They provide workshops as well as other interactive activities to help their community be informed about how to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Team Heal is another program that aims to provide underserved high school athletes. They focus on preventing injuries and raising awareness of health and nutrition, along with giving student athletes free physical sports and training rooms for rehab. They also award annual scholarships to student athletes, and they help with career development and academic support, which leads us to the other program that they offer that is called Career Training. Career Training was established with the hope of offering high school and middle school students the opportunity to get a head start on discovering productive and meaningful careers in healthcare. They have 4 sub-programs, which are all listed at the bottom of this slide, and each one has a slightly different focus, but they were all created by the hospital with hopes of helping nurture the next generation of doctors. Cedars-Sinai is trying to address the health-related social needs of their patients to improve their overall well-being, and Community Connect is a service that they established to help direct their patients to the resources that they need. They have social workers, public health professionals, and many other workers who have the ultimate goal of providing patients with guidance on how to navigate medical systems. And one of the things that they recently implemented with an electronic referral platform to help improve coordination across systems. That way, it's easier for patients to have all their medical information in one place, and it basically helps reduce barriers to access these services. And the other section that I'm going to be talking about is art and healing, which basically relates to Cedars-Sinai's main belief in creating art through healing therapy. In the next couple of slides, I'm going to be talking about some of the services that they have. So like I said, at Cedars-Sinai, they believe in using art to help their patients heal both physical and emotional injuries. They have many artworks that are open to the public, some of which are shown here. All of their art has been donated throughout the past 50 years, and they keep it there as a form of comfort and to help patients stimulate emotional connections. They believe in an innovative approach to help patients reduce stress, trigger healing, and provide therapeutic art. Next, I'm going to be talking about Share and Care, which is a service established to help children cope with trauma. It is taught by mental health professionals that are trained to help children heal physiological wounds and psychological wounds. It's especially helpful for kids who are not able to verbalize their feelings. And basically in the program, they believe that an intervention beforehand, and they think that aiming to prevent health problems before they develop is one of the best things that they can do for children. For over 35 years, they have given professional counseling to students who experience academic and emotional challenges, as well as anger management issues, substance abuse, and social skills. This service has curriculums to encourage self-esteem and positive coping skills through art therapy and weekly sessions they provide. On their website, they have a display of some of the artworks that their young patients have made, and some of them are shown on this slide. And they also talk about how through art therapy, children have shown to develop resilience in different aspects of their lives. Lastly, at Cedars-Sinai, they also have a space called the Healing Gardens. It's basically a therapeutic landscape for patients who like to have a soothing and tranquil environment to rest. They're very nice, and they were designed by AHBE landscape architects. And the main goal for this establishment was due to studies that showed evidence on the fact that therapeutic landscapes and nature can help with the patient's recovery.
Okay, hi everyone. I'll be talking about the news blogs and events. My name is Nyoko. So our first news blog that we'll be covering was an interview in NBC done with Dr. Sarah J. Kilpatrick. She's the chair of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Cedars-Sinai. And in this interview, it reports on disparities in the delivery in healthcare to women of color. Specifically, the doctor goes over medical gaslighting, which was explained as the instances in which doctors ignore or misdiagnose symptoms. The article uses the example of patient Maria Robles, who was experiencing back and stomach pains. She was told for nearly a decade by physicians that she needed to lose weight to alleviate these symptoms. And after the patient effectively advocated for themselves and persistently pursued alternative opinions, she finally found a doctor at Cedars-Sinai who diagnosed her ovarian tumor. It is emphasized across this interview that this is an experience disproportionately shared among women of color. And there is a subsequent article on the next slide, which was another interview, this one done with Fox News by Dr. Ty Donovich. And it focuses on coping with the COVID-19 pandemic. He stresses the importance of accepting that the state of the world is still stressful and using that acceptance to best address your anxieties. It is especially important to not neglect self-care like exercise, nutritious meals, and good sleep. No one is feeling alone in their fear around this current uncertainty, and reflection is the most important step in moving through this time. So those were just two articles that you can find on the Cedars-Sinai website, and they have a lot more covering pretty relevant and pressing topics. So the next slide is addressing the COVID-19 new protocols and visitation policies. So Cedars-Sinai updated the vaccine booster essentially to state that the booster is available for people who received their last vaccine dose at least 4 months ago, but receiving the booster is not a formal recommendation at this time. And in an attempt to continue protecting patients and visitors from the spread of COVID-19, non-patient visitors are required to complete a health screening, temperature check, and remain in the room of the patient they are visiting for the duration of their stay. Masks are still required and frequent hand washing is encouraged. And on the next slide, you can see that there is a COVID-19 recovering program. So to be eligible, you do have to have a referral from a physician, a confirmed positive case of COVID, and symptoms that persisted 12 or more weeks from your time of infection. These persistent symptoms can include decreased exercise tolerance, headaches, mood disorders, and other impacts that you had following your infection. Participants who come to the study should expect an intake evaluation, a neurological screening, opportunities to participate in other research, and to see specialists. This entire visit will take about 2 hours. And next, I'll be covering volunteer programs. So on the next slide, we just have a list of the volunteer programs that you can find at Cedars-Sinai. And in the following slides, I'll just be expanding upon a few of them. So first, we have the pre-medicine student volunteer program. So to be eligible, you do have to be 18 years or older, completed at least one semester of college, show a minimum GPA of 3.3, and the application is online. If you're selected, you will participate in an interview. You will have to pass a background check. Orientation for the time being is online, and you do have to be able to attend all of those sessions. And it also now requires that you have reliable transportation. So in the program, sorry, last slide really quickly. In the program, you do just have to be available to shadow your mentor for a minimum of 6 hours per week. And you must be available to attend their weekly meetings. The next application cycle is this fall, and the rest of the information can still be found on the Cedars-Sinai website under volunteer section. So next slide. So another program here is the medical genetics oncology. So volunteers will shadow genetic counselors in clinic, either remotely or in person, and assist with clerical duties such as updating patient family histories, scanning and obtaining records, and making reminder calls to the patients. I do have the requirements listed here, but essentially be available during standard business hours, be able to dedicate a minimum of 50 hours over the next 2 to 3 months for 1 4-hour shift per week. And the email for your application is at the bottom of this slide. And the next program, physical medicine and rehabilitation. This particular opportunity is for people who require observation hours to apply for a graduate program specific to physical therapy, occupational therapy, or speech language pathology. The program provides volunteers with a maximum of 20 hours. And the only requirement is that you do have to be interested in pursuing a degree in the related fields. And again, the email for those applications is on the slide. And next, the last slide I'll be presenting of the volunteer programs is an opportunity for mental health interns who wish to work with teens specifically. This volunteer work would include talking with teens on a telephone helpline and serving in the field within teen outreach. Again, the only requirement is that the applicant must be a mental health intern seeking licensing hours. And the email for your application is again at the bottom of this slide.
Okay, just to recap, we went through a bunch of different sections pertaining to Cedars-Sinai. We went through the overview, research, education, and health library, as well as some community programs, art and healing aspects, their news, blogs, and events, and of course, some of their volunteer programs as well. Okay, and that was the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed.